UNDEROATH is back and they are pissed as ever with their latest offering, VOYEURIST. Let's break it down. What's up everybody, I'm Randy Rouillet. This is the Hardcore Breakdown, where we break down everything in the world of hardcore, punk, and alternative music. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and leave a comment down below. With all of that out of the way, let's get into my thoughts on UNDEROATH's latest offering, VOYEURIST. UNDEROATH has been one of my favorite bands since the days of their Only Chasing Safety. I have seen them a handful of times, and honestly, they just keep getting better and better every time I see them live. And I've loved everything that they've put out up until Erase Me, which I felt a little let down by. I get that they were trying to go more mainstream, and hey look, it worked. They got a ton of exposure. They went out on tour with Thorne, Alice in Chains, Breaking Benjamin. Hell, they even got nominated for a Grammy. But when I heard that they were releasing this album, I was really anxious to see if they would return back to their former glory of Lost in the Sound of Separation or Define the Great Line or even Disambiguation. However, the first red flag for me was that James and Grant would once again not be part of the writing process, which is a bummer because I felt like the overall writing and creativity behind Erase Me was severely lacking. And for a long time, I thought it was because those dudes weren't in the studio with the other guys writing the record. So, how does VOYEURIST stack up? Is it going to be a return to form, or are they going to bring us further into the depths of Erase Me? Let's jump in and go track by track and break this thing down. Okay, there is no way around it. Damn Excuses is a certified banger. It's a true return to form. I remember hearing the song when it was first released as a single, and I was completely blown away by it. It really does bring me back to the days of Lost in the Sound of Separation, and maybe also some Disambiguation thrown in there. This song just captures how angry they are, and that's a good thing. To me, it sounds like they're getting out years of pent-up aggression. Maybe it's aggression against the church, maybe it's aggression against hypocrites in the church, or maybe just Christianity in general. And this song seems to point all of that out. With lines like "fuck your revelation" and "fuck your weak convictions," it sounds to me like they're calling out those fakers, they're calling out those hypocrites, and all those people that they encountered during their years in the Christian spotlight. And this is probably the best single that the band has released since Breathing in a New Mentality. My first thoughts on Hallelujah was that it's extremely catchy, but maybe a bit formulaic. It kind of goes back to the same formula that they were using on Erase Me, but not in a bad way. There seems to be some major callbacks to songs like I Hate It, and it hits a lot of the same themes that song hits. There are some lines in here that are open to interpretation, lines like "Will I ever break from this? Will I ever get away from this?" They could be referring to their Christian walk, but they could also be referring to Spencer's battle with drug addiction or Aaron's battle with generalized anxiety disorder. It's probably one of the latter, but hearing Spencer belt the word hallelujah to me just sounds like a prayer. It's a very interesting song with a lot of interesting things, and I totally dig it. And also the gang vocals give me serious It's Dangerous Business Walking Out Your Front Door vibes. I'm pretty sure I'm Out of Luck and Have No Friends is probably one of the best titles I've ever heard in an UNDEROATH song. Maybe outside of I've Got 10 Friends and a Crowbar that says you ain't gonna do jack, but my question is, where'd all the friends go? Another bad joke. Gonna get used to those here. This song is a slow burn, but when it kicks in, holy shit does it hit. The part about halfway through the song when the band kicks in, it seriously gives me Deftone vibes, and I had goosebumps the first time I heard this one. This song does give me a sense of disconnectedness, which is probably what they were going for, given the title of the song referring to the fact that they have no friends. There's a sense of loneliness about it. Even from the beginning, when you hear the phone ringing and nobody picks up, and you hear that the line has been disconnected or is no longer in service, and then it's immediately followed up by a call to 911. To me, it almost feels like the song is saying, when you have no friends, when you are disconnected, when you have no one to go to, it becomes an emergency. And maybe I'm reading too much into this small part of the song, but I think that's what makes this song so great, is that it's open to interpretation. There are so many different themes that it hits on that I can relate to. As a parent, you kind of get lost in your kids sometimes. You get so caught up in their world that you forget about your own. And a lot of times I find myself feeling lonely. Hearing the line, "No one knows that you're here alone," is a reminder that we have to reach out, that no one knows what our inner sufferings are, and that it is so not healthy to suffer in silence. It's important to find somebody to talk to and to know that you're never alone out there. It's a reminder that no matter how alone you may feel, there is always someone out there who wants to reach out and give you a hand.
How is the beat?
Cycle. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the Ghostmane collab kind of caught me off guard. Well, it's not the first time that the boys have done a collaboration. It certainly has been a long time, and I certainly didn't expect them to do one with Ghostmane. But I totally dug it! I remember when this song was first released as a single, it didn't grab me so much, but by the time that bridge hits, it had its hooks in me. Holy shit, it hits so hard. And I love Ghostmane screaming in it. It kind of has some from first to last vibes to it, and I'm totally here for that. Overall, this one is a banger and definitely one of the stronger ones on the album. Thorne. Now, I was excited for this one because I was told that this was one of the best songs on the album prior to listening. And it is indeed very dynamic, and Aaron shines on this one. Spencer does some of his best screaming, especially towards the end of it, that he's done in a very long time. But still, for some reason, this song is probably one of the weaker ones on the album. It's a classic example of the sum of the parts not being equal to the whole, or whatever that expression is. It feels a little bit too much like filler to me. It feels a little bit too much like the weaker side of Erase Me. It just doesn't hit as hard as I think I wanted it to. No Oasis. This one screams filler. Chris shows off that yes, he's been working on some horror film scores in this one, and it's a great lead up to the next song, but overall it's just kind of forgettable, and it should have been left on Erase Me, or even better, on the cutting room floor. Skip. Take a breath. We're on the home stretch, and this is where the album really hits its stride. This song has a killer intro coming off of No Oasis. I love the guitar riffs, it's so catchy, and Spencer sounds amazing on it. You could talk me into this song being my favorite on the album, but I'm still reserving that to the next song. We're all gonna die. This song absolutely lives rent-free in my head. I love this song. I find myself singing it constantly, which always gets a strange reaction from my family when they see me walking through the living room singing, "Hey, we're all gonna die." Certainly it's a dark song, but this is a dark album, so it's very fitting. Now we've reached Numb, the penultimate track of the album. In full disclosure, I was not a big fan of this song when they released it as a single. I felt like it was very reminiscent of something that maybe belonged on Erase Me or maybe belonged on a Sleepwave album. It was a little too EDM for me, all the programming, but after hearing it as part of the whole album, it really grew on me. "We're lying through our teeth, now there ain't no fucking way out" is such a catchy line, and I actually love the programming that Chris does on it now. It's fun, it's fresh, it's something completely different that Underoath hasn't done. Is it EDM? Yes it is. Am I a big fan of EDM? No, but it's Underoath and they somehow make it work. Pneumonia is the closing track on the album. And it's extremely important for a band to stick the landing on their final song, and Underoath has done a fantastic job of doing that over the years. And this one is no exception. It's a slow burn for sure, but it takes you on a journey and ends on such a high note, starting around the 3-minute mark. It becomes very reminiscent of Disambiguation. And by the time the 6-minute mark hit, my jaw hit the fucking floor. That guitar riff, the screaming, the way it all comes together is so phenomenal. This is what Disambiguation should have sounded like. This is what Disambiguation would have sounded like with Aaron. This is what I wanted Disambiguation to sound like. This is an incredible way to end an album, and it's probably my favorite closing song to an Underoath album, period. This album has a great start with Damn Excuses, Hallelujah, No Friends, and Cycle. Kind of hits a lull in the middle with Thorne and No Oasis, but it picks right back up with Take a Breath, We're All Gonna Die, Numb, and Pneumonia. All certified bangers for sure. So is Voyeurist the masterpiece that I was hoping it would be? God damn it, it's so close. If I'm ranking the Spencer era Underoath albums, it goes Lost in the Sound of Separation, Define the Great Line, They're Only Chasing Safety, Voyeurist, Disambiguation, then a huge gap, a Grand Canyon-sized gap. Then you get to Erase Me. Like I said in my Every Time I Die video, when a band can release an album this great, this late into their career, it's a true testimony to how dedicated they are to their craft. So that leads me to wonder, what the hell happened on Erase Me? It's not like Chris, Tim, Aaron, and Spencer somehow forgot how to write music or suddenly just remembered how to write music. So why the drop off with Erase Me? Well, after watching episode 0 of the labeled documentary on the making of Voyeurist, which I highly recommend everybody go check out, I learned that that album suffered due to the fact that Tim had essentially checked out of the writing process, and Aaron, being newly introduced into the band, still didn't know his place in the band, so he kind of took a back seat to Spencer, didn't really voice his opinions very much, so it became the Spencer Chamberlain show, which makes a lot of sense because I've always said that Erase Me sounds very much like Sleepwave 2.0. And look, that's not a bad thing. I really like Sleepwave, but let's be real, Sleepwave isn't Underoath. If I wanted to listen to Sleepwave, I wouldn't put in an Underoath album. And if I wanted to listen to Underoath, I wouldn't put in a Sleepwave album. Voyeurist is 100% an Underoath album. The boys are fucking back. So that's Voyeurist. I'm curious your thoughts on the album. Did you love it as much as I did? What are your favorite songs from it? And where does it rank in the pantheon of Underoath's discography? Whatever you think, please let me know in the comments section down below. And if you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to click that notification bell so that you'll be alerted to every time I post a new video. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing a reaction video on Furnace Fest, announcing the first 30 bands of Furnace Fest 2022, as well as a retrospective look back at my experience at Furnace Fest 2021. That's all I have for today, so until next time, I'll see you in the pit.